Are you a pet owner and you think you're losing the battle with fur and you think you can never get it under control? Well, I'm here to help you and share tips and tricks that I've learned along the way as a dog owner of 2 and things that help me and control the hair in my house, so stick around. Being a pet owner brings you joy, happiness, companionship, and loyalty, but it also brings in a lot of fur into your house. And over the years, I've learned that investing in the right cleaning tools to help battle those fur balls around the house definitely makes a huge improvement and makes my life a lot easier when it comes to controlling the hair in my house. My first tip is always starting with the actual pet themselves. I invested in a great brush. It's called the Furminator from PetSmart, and it does a really excellent job at removing undercoat. Duke has a really thick coat and there's a lot of undercoat underneath, so I find that when I groom him on a regular basis, it really helps significantly reduce the amount of fur that I find around the house. When you're grooming your pet at home, you want to make sure that they're comfortable and you want to make sure that they have a positive experience. So if you find they get fidgety or squirmy and they want to move, you can always stop the grooming session and always pick up where you left off a little bit later. You always want to make sure you have a positive experience for the pet. Dyson came out with the Dyson Animal and specifically targeted to pet owners because this attachment here has brush bristles inside. When they pop out, you can brush the pet, and then when you release the trigger, they pop back inside and it sucks up the hair. But always make sure that your pet is comfortable using this type of technique because you don't want to scare them, and always reward them at the end of the grooming session so they know they have a positive reinforcement and knowing that grooming is fun. So let's talk about furniture maintenance. We all love our pets, and if you're like me, you allow your pets on the couch, but when they get up, unlike you, there's a lot of hair left behind. So the best thing I'd like to give you as a piece of advice is to invest in a good handheld vacuum for your couches. When I'm on the fly and I have to clean up messes on the couch, if there's expected guests or there's just too much fur, I grab my Bissell pet eraser and I use it on my couch to get a bulk of the hair off using the motorized brush. After I finish getting most of the fur off, I'll go back in with the crevice tool and get into the nooks and crannies of the couch to make sure I get rid of all that hair. And another tip is when you have a handheld vacuum, make sure that if they're cordless to always plug them in so they're ready for the next use. There's been quite a few times where I went to go reach for my vacuum, it wasn't charged, so definitely you must have it always charged. Another great and effective cleaning tool is a LILLY brush. It's great on fabric couches as well as inside your car. And I picked up this LILLY brush from Amazon for under $15, and even though I do vacuum my couches on a regular basis, sometimes some of the fur gets really embedded inside the fabric, so I always use my LILLY brush to bring out as much hair that gets embedded as possible. And you can see here the LILLY brush just glides over the couch and removes all that unwanted hair and piles it up so you can suck it up with the vacuum or just take it off with your hands. So you can see this is a very effective way to making sure you control the pet hair on your couches and your fabrics. When it comes to dusting my furniture, I always reach for my microfiber that's very lightly dampened with a bit of water, and I just run it along my furniture and it locks and traps in all the dust as well as fur. And it's great because these cloths have electrostatic properties which makes it amazing to locking and trapping all that dust so the fur doesn't resettle back onto your furniture. When you are cleaning your furniture, always make sure that you go in one direction when wiping the surface and always fold the cloth in quarters, so this way you always have a nice clean surface you can flip to when you are dusting all your furniture pieces. So let's talk about floor maintenance. If you have pets just like me, it almost feels like every time they walk around the house, there's always fur falling behind them on the floors, on the carpets, and the tiles. So I invested in a really great broom, and I like using a rubber bristle broom over regular brooms because it allows to collect the hairs a lot more easily, and it doesn't allow it to really float off into the air to resettle back onto your furniture. The other great thing about the SWEEPA is that you can actually clean this brush pretty easily because it's made of rubber, so if you have any big heavy messes, you just run it underneath the faucet and then you have it clean and you're ready to go and tackle your next furry messes. Another effective way is to invest in an electrostatic mop like the Swiffer that I'm using here. You just put on the pad and run it along the floor and all the hair clings onto the pad itself and you can just toss it in the garbage. Another great investment when you own animals is to invest in a really good upright vacuum. I love my Dyson because it has so many cleaning tools and very powerful to getting any embedded fur out of my carpets. Another great feature is you can actually turn off the roller, so this way you can use it on your hardwood floors without having to worry about scratching or damaging your floors. Dyson also has a handheld vacuum which is perfect for your stairs, and you can get into those nooks and crannies that always seems to collect the most fur on the staircase. So cleaning floors definitely has its benefits by using brooms as well as vacuums, but sometimes you want to do dual purpose and you want to suck up the hairs as well as clean your floors at the same time. So that's why I bought the Bissell Crosswave Cordless Max, because it vacuums up the hair but also washes the floors at the same time. The Bissell Crosswave is definitely an investment, but if you're looking for a tool that is effective and also saves a lot of time, it's definitely something you should check out. I'm able to use it on my area rugs as well as my hard surfaces. Now keep in mind, if you are planning on getting one and you are a pet owner, when you are cleaning your rugs, it does a light refresh, so it does pull out hairs that are loose on the carpet, but it won't do as good of a job if you're using an upright carpet cleaner. But I think overall it's quite effective, and you can see here that it removes a lot of dirt and definitely lots of hair. If you traveled in your car with a pet, specifically a dog like I do, you notice that when they leave the car, they might leave half their coat behind. So I like using seat protectors like this one here, so it collects most of the fur that falls out. So this way my actual seats are not covered in too much fur. And when there is fur on my seats, I just have to use my LILLY brush to help flick off any excess fur that didn't get caught on the seat cover. Now that you learned a thing or two of how to control pet fur in your house, I really hope you can sit back and relax and enjoy the sunshine just like Duke and Buster. And I'll see you in my next video next Sunday.